Okay, very good evening. This is Carol, Kilo Pop 4 Mike Delta, your net control operator for the River City Arc Slow Scan TV net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on an N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City Arcs members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between our transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized IT phonetic alphabet and their name. And I will recognize each station before I continue. We do have early check-ins. Kilo Lima 7 Hotel Quebec Romeo. That's Neil. Alpha India 6 Delta Golf. That's Joel. November 6 Delta Romeo Yankee, which is Paul. Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra Tom, and myself, Carol, KP4MD. Are there any additional check-ins? Okay, none heard. Well, we're going to proceed in that order, and we'll go to the top of the list. Kilo Lima 7 Hotel Quebec Romeo. If you have a picture for us, I'd appreciate you. Please tell us what mode you're going to be sending it in and proceed, please. Over.
Roger, Cal. This is Neil Kilo 7 HQR. We're going to be standing on PD 120. PD 120. I hope.
Okay, KL7HQR in the group. This is KP4MD. Picture came through very nice. Could read the labeling very well. Your call signed and an N6NA SSTV Net. Green flash phenomenon and a date September 28, 19. Northeast Atlantic Ocean aboard the Crown Princess. And what you see in the upper left corner there looks like a sunset, or I guess it's a sunset, and a green flash. Another picture there with color green, and I wonder if that's. I've never heard of this phenomenon before, and it'll be very interesting to hear a explanation of that. So anyhow, there are a few dozen little popped pixels here and there from the pave pause on this band, but that's not a problem. So turn it over to Joel, AI6GG. Go ahead, please, KP4MD.
Okay, you described it, picture in picture, with the upper left being a picture of the sun setting, and the main picture being kind of the sun's almost set, but it's in green instead of orange. I've heard of this. I've actually looked to see it, but I have never have. It doesn't happen every time, and I have no idea what causes it. I'm assuming it's got something to do with the way the sunlight's going through the atmosphere. Maybe some sort of refraction where it's over the horizon. I'm not sure. Northeast Atlantic Ocean, would that be like around the, what is it, Azores or Canaries? I was about to think in terms of North Sea, but I guess that wouldn't be North Atlantic. I guess that would be North Sea. But where are we going from to? Back to net, AI6DG.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Joel. We'll turn it over to Paul and see what you copied there. N6DRY, over.
This is N6DRY. I didn't get a good copy. I haven't had my system up in a long time. It's probably on my end. As I listen to you and Joel describe it, I can see that it's a sunset, and I can see Neil's call sign there in the upper right-hand corner. But that's about it. I think I have some adjustments to do here, so I'll send it back to net N6NY.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for that description, Paul. And Tom, I saw you uploaded the picture onto Discord, so why don't you describe what you saw? W6 Bravo Sierra, over.
Yeah, thanks, Carol. This is Bravo Sierra. I have two images. I have a sunset over an ocean, I believe, with an orange background of the sun as it's setting. Maybe a quarter of the sun is still visible, and then below that is a green flash phenomenon that has a date. And then I can read Atlantic Ocean and then aboard something or other express. So I kind of got that truncated as part of my transmission. That was a good overall. You know, those little ticks here and there. Good image.
Okay, I just have to tell you, Tom, I know you had to turn down your modulation for the slow scan TV, but your voice modulation is also quite low. I was able to understand you if I strained really my ears a lot. Anyway, we did hear your comments there. So I'll turn it back over to Neil, and maybe Neil can explain this KL7HQR. It says KP4MD. Go ahead, Neil.
This KL7HQR. I'm glad that you guys got the picture. Sorry about Paul. Yes, it is a phenomenon. I have been trying for years and years to see it. I have seen it twice in my lifetime. We've done almost 40 cruises, and every time we cruise, we spend some time looking for this. It is a phenomenon that occurs, and it lasts approximately a second. And it just, you have that green flash. I have a video of this, because I had the camera zoomed as far as I could to the sunset, and I have a video, about a 1-minute video. What I'll probably do, I'll put it online and send the link so you guys can see it. And it's very, very difficult to happen, and I'm glad that I got it. And I figured, I spent about 3 hours today going through all my cruise videos because I didn't remember which one it was, and I finally found it just to prepare this picture. So it was nice learning how to do the picture-in-picture and learning how to do this composition. But that's about it. You can Google online and you will see quite a few comments about the green flash. Over.
Okay, thank you very much for this very interesting description of phenomenon, and I will look it up and see what the significance of this and see what explanation they have for it. Uh, Next in line, unless does somebody have any other comment on this before we proceed? Okay, nothing heard. Over to Joel. Alpha India 6 Delta Golf, we're ready for your picture, and please tell us what mode you're going to be using.
Martin 1, and let's see if I got a tone first.
Yep, good tone. Go. Okay, this is KP4MD, and I'm taking a good close look at this. And it looks like some sort of maybe a typewriter or a coding machine. Doesn't look like the original um, Enigma machine, but it's got some three wheels, apparently thumb wheels up at the top there. And I guess it probably is a decoding machine because it's got the typewriter keyboard, and above that it's kind of reflected. Probably those are lights that light up that one letter will respond differently. It's kind of like a cryptographic machine. This is what I'm guessing. Uh, anyway, this is quite a curiosity, and a bunch of plugs in the front. I'm not sure exactly what those are, but maybe it has something to do with the settings for decoding. So very good, very clear picture. We'll turn it up to number one. Neil, how did you get that picture? KL7HQR, over.
Scale 7HQ, a very, very good copy. Yeah, I could not remember the name you mentioned, the Enigma machine, but I immediately thought about one of the items that could have helped us win the war in World War II. And I've never seen one. I've seen only pictures. But the picture is very clear. I can see all the letters on the keyboard as well as above on the white and black holes there. I'm not familiar on how it works, but it would be interesting to know if this is something that somebody has, or this is a picture from a museum, KL7HQR.
Thank you very much, Neil. Paul, did you have any better luck copying this picture, N6TRY?
No, Carol, I still didn't get a copy, so I have something. I'll keep filtering and see what happens here. So back to net, N6DRY.
Okay, we'll go down to you, Tom. W6 Bravo Sierra. How did you copy that over?
Whiskey 6 Bravo here. I see the same as everybody. It has definitely a typewriter type keyboard. It is even QWERTY, I think. Three white selector dials at the top. I'm not sure what those are for. Definitely has some wiring showing at the bottom. And I got a split screen. It was going well, and then suddenly I had a shift. So I posted that up on Discord for everybody to look at it here. Use it. Otherwise, pretty sharp image. Over on I guess a white table with somebody's hand in the background, and the paper is off to the side. Maybe for notes. Don't know. Back to you.
Okay, thank you for your feedback on that, Tom. And we'll go back to Joel, and maybe you can explain what's in this picture that you sent. AI60G, go ahead, please. Over.
Yes, Carol, you're right. This is an Enigma machine used by Germany during World War II to encrypt all of their military communications. This is a 3-rotor, so I don't know who actually used this because they did have 4 rotors after some point in the war, but I think those were reserved mainly for like submarines or some other higher security segments. This looks a little bit different than you might be used to when you see pictures of Enigma machines because it's missing the case. There's a wooden case that's supposed to go around this. But having it open like this, you can see the patch panel up front. That's what's used to basically initialize it every day. It's like in terms of cryptographical terms, it's setting the seed. So every day they'd set the patch panel up front a certain way and set up the rotors a certain way, and then over the course of the day, the two ends would be in sync so that what they were sent when they typed it in, it would light up the lights underneath the letters that are above the keyboard, and that's what they would write down. That would be the unencrypted message. The reason this isn't so much ham related as it is computer related, because these Enigma machines are kind of well known in the computing industry because this was a very prominent aspect of early cryptography. And the other aspect was the British effort to crack the Enigma machines was a significant early aspect of computers and computer industry. It also was a prominent figure in that was Alan Turing, who is also one of the big names historically in computing. I've seen 2 of these in real life. This one I saw at DEF CON in Las Vegas. DEF CON is a computer hackers or security convention. And this was actually in the vendor area at a DEF CON, 10, 15 years ago, at a table that was hosted by the NSA. The NSA. They came and had a table. I guess they were recruiting, looking for people to work for them. This was obviously before some of the federal privacy and security things hit, before Snowden. The NSA is never really been on good terms with the computer hackers circle community, but after Snowden, they were really in bad terms. But it was interesting talking with them and seeing this. And apparently, actually, they had so many people looking at it and punching on the keyboard that the first one they brought broke. So they brought another one the next day. I guess NSA's got a collection of these. Now, here's the ham connection. The second one of these I ever saw was at Pacificon, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, which was kind of a surprise. I'm not sure where the connection to ham radio is, but it was very cool to see another one and to listen to the talk that the guy gave. Back to net, AI6DG.
Very, very, very good. I suppose if you break one of these machines, you need to send it back to Germany to get it repaired. Anyhow, are there any further comments on this before we go to the next picture?
This is N6NA FM. Sorry if I got here late. I do have a picture to share tonight. It's my turn.
Okay, thank you very much, Ken. We will put you in the order. You'll be number 6. No more comments on this picture, so we will first of all welcome you again, Ken, and we're going to go now to number 4, who is Tom. I'm sorry, number 3, Paul. No, N6DRY. Are you ready to send us a picture? And what mode would you send it in? Over.
Well, I can try. Give me a minute here, Carol. I've changed computers, so why don't you go to the next person, and I'll be ready after that.
Okay, yeah. We'll come right back to you then after Tom. Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra. We're ready to copy your picture. And what mode are you sending it in? Over.
All right, this is Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra. I'm going to do it in Martin 1, and I'm using a desk mic, a mic connected to my computer, since I'm trying to not flip back and forth between the hand mic and the computer. So I'm trying to do everything computer. So maybe that's why it was hard to hear. So in another 10 seconds, I'll send it.
Okay, Tom, W6BS, this is KP4MD. If you were able to watch on YouTube, you would notice that we did not receive any tone or any picture, no modulation at all from you. If you want to try it again and you're sure you can send a tone, we would be glad to do that. Over.
All right, Carol, I did notice I was sending it to the wrong device, so I heard it quite well on my speakers. You can try it again.
Okay, this is KP4MD. That picture actually came through. I think this is the best picture I've ever seen from you, Tom. There was complete absence of that spurious, high-pitched tone that you had on previous weeks that you've transmitted. Uh, I'm seeing what looks like a pair of compound eyes. Maybe it's the head of a fly or some other kind of insect, but looks like a very close magnification and interesting effect of these bands, three horizontal kind of red or brownish bands going through those eyes. Yeah, very, very interesting. I wonder how they took that picture. So we're going to go to the top of the list. Neil, KL7HQR, how did you copy that over?
A very good copy here as well, Carol. Although looking on YouTube, looks like you had the same split that I did, about a little bit more than halfway down. Looks like there was a slant to it that started again, but very, very clear, and we can definitely see the iridescent of the different colors, and curious to know which insect this is. But good, much. I agree with Carol, much better than the pictures that you sent before. So good progress, Tom. Back to Nick.
Okay, down to you, Joel. How did you copy this AI6DG? Over.
I think pretty much the same as everyone else. I've got the slant slash right down the center, or just a little bit below. I kind of see some pattern in the eye. I don't know if that's in the picture or on my end, because I do have my usual moire pattern, which when I listen to what I receive, which normally I don't do because it's going straight from the data port on the radio directly into the sound card on the computer. But if I hook myself up to that and listen to it, I can see a 60 cycle hum. So that's something on my end. but that affects all of my images. So I have most of the images I receive, I have a pattern imposed on top of the image. So I don't know if what I'm seeing in the eyes is there or if it's my 60-cycle hum. But oddly enough, when it was only about 10 or 20% down, I was thinking, oh, that's an eye. That's a fly eye. And I said, but no, it couldn't be. It's got to be something else. But as I went further down, eventually I realized, yep, that's what it is. Some sort of insect compound eye. Amazing some of the things in nature. Back to net. AI6DG.
Joel, I have to say, looking close at those eyes, it looks like there is a moire pattern in there. And I guess that is a nature's moire pattern on the eyes. Very, very astute observation. Next, Paul, N6DRY, how did you do copying that over?
I still would copy Carol in 60RY.
Are you getting any picture at all? What's going on?
Well, I'm getting some, but it's distorted and I can't tell what it is. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'll keep playing.
Okay, was there a breaker? Go ahead, break.
K07HQR. I talk to Paul every so often on the Health and Welfare Net, and his signal is usually very strong and very solid. And I noticed that even when he comes in voice, there is a lot of noise. So it's not the same signal that we normally get from you, Paul. Back to net.
Okay, Neil, I don't know what's happening, so I'll keep playing here. You folks, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's something happening with propagation on this band because the repeater here also has a little bit of QSY. The signal is going up and down a bit that I'm getting from the repeater. It's not full scale all the time, which is an interesting phenomenon. So, Tom, W6 Bravo Sierra, how did you get that picture over?
Well, I found the picture on the internet, and it is a fly. I did like the rainbow effects of the eyes. I thought, if we're doing Martin 1, let's see how many colors I can show. So that was my idea. I also put my call sign at the bottom in green just to be difficult. And it is a close-up of a fly. The wings are all blurred, but nearest, you've got two kind of pinchers. I would call them noses, I guess. And then lots of little hairy cilia things below the fly. So obviously flies have little cilia, fur looking stuff. And I can, in my image, without transmitting it, you can see all the little segmented eyes in the two bigger left and right hemisphere. And lots of colors. So hopefully all the colors helped out.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. I'm sorry I jumped over Ken. Ken, maybe you can give us some report on how you copied that picture. Over.
RMD in the group. Yep, got that one just fine. And yeah, the first half of it looks great. It's kind of weird looking. And I confirmed you got the same thing as I got. And then I rewinded back a little bit, and I saw a picture I missed from Neil. And yeah, those enigmas, I saw the first one by visiting the Computer History Museum down in Santa Clara. That was pretty cool. I highly recommend that tour if you get a chance to go down there when it gets back open.
Okay, I have a question for you, Ken. Are you using a handheld radio? Over.
Negative. I'm using my base wiggle my cable. One of them. I can't think of the name of it. It's the thin cable that you can use to go over through your windowsill.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure other people are hearing the same effect that I'm hearing. Ken's signal has QSB on it, up and down, in and out of the noise. And I think what we're seeing here is some UHF propagation effect. We've been having some strange weather system pattern going through here, and it's possible you can get a temperature inversion or some kind of a tropospheric effect there that causes this kind of uh, variation in UHF signals. So very, very interesting. But thank you very much for that, Ken. Uh, Next in line is number 5 is myself. I'm going to go ahead and send a picture, and this is going to be PD120. And let's go here, and I'll load it in, and we're going to send it, KB4MD. Okay, I'm going to have to start this again and see what's happening, why I'm not keying. Just a moment. Just
switched out to another antenna. Is this any better?
Much. That's flawless.
Yeah, it's the silly cable that runs through my sliding glass door so I can close my door and keep the antenna connected. Oh well.
yeah, I have to restart MMS SSTV, and let's see if it works this time. Oh my. Okay, just a moment here. Okay, it looks like it's going to go. This is KP4MD, and this is PD120. Okay, up to number 1. Neil, how did you copy that, and what do you make of it? KL7HQR, KP4MD.
Scale 7 HQ 7HQR. First of all, I have to tell you that this is the first picture ever since we started playing that I have not even a single speck of color in the picture of interference. It's absolutely clear and clean. Well, picture in a picture. On the top picture, a right hand holding what appears to be a piece of amber. Could be one of those things like that started at Jurassic Park that may have some insect inside. On the other hand, it could be bright gold. And they're holding over a skin, an animal skin, a white animal skin. And it'd be interesting knowing what that is. On the inside picture on the lower right-hand side, I see a couple of what appear to be tacks, little nails. I would guess that is a magnetized item with a lot of iron particles. They are standing up, trying to show the magnetic lines of force. So that's basically what I see. But what it really impresses me is how clean the picture is. Back to that.
Okay, very good, Neil. Over to you, Joel. What do you think of this AI6DG KP Firm D?
Oh, the image quality is really good. It's interesting. For me, because it's a solid black background, the moirite patterns that I get from whatever my grounding problem is really prominent, but it almost looks like a herringbone because it's kind of interference inside of interference inside of interference. But yeah, okay. So it's a picture in a picture with the in picture being on the lower right. It's a hand holding a piece of amber or rosin. I'm not sure which, but it's kind of golden colored, and it's holding it above a piece of fur. So that brings to mind rubbing the amber or rosin on the fur to generate static electricity, but I'm not sure if that's what's going on or not. The insert picture is a couple of like roofing nails either sitting on or stuck to a rock with the iron filings, so you can see how they're kind of sitting out in a fuzzy magnetic field type of thing. So I'm not exactly sure what the relationship here is, but it's some sort of demonstration of electromagnetic something or another. Back to net, AI6DG.
Very good, Joel. Over to you, Paul. Any luck this time? N6DRY KP Firm D.
Yes, I got a much better picture this time, and I think Joel and Neil have described it very well. The picture came through. We only have a little interference about a quarter of a way down, and that's probably the repeater identifying or something. But anyway, at least I'm partially working now. Back to net, N6DRY.
Thank you very much, Paul. Tom, W6 Bravo Sierra. What did you copy? Over.
Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra. I caught a great image. The overall picture has I guess a right hand holding something that looks amber colored, clear, maybe it's plastic, but very rough. It's like one edge was cut because it's more clean nearest what I think is a rabbit pelt. And it's a salt and pepper rabbit pelt with some yellowing color to it. And then the lower right corner has an image of what I would consider a rock. Nothing special about it as far as I can tell. Two nails that are probably iron and definitely I would say magnetic material, or at least iron collected over the heads of the nails and around the rock. I guess maybe the rock's sitting in some ferrous material. But again, great image. The background darker color. You can see color differences, but I think this is probably really just part of making it PD 120. Back to you.
Very good description, Tom. And over to you, Ken. Do you have anything to add to what you copied in this picture? N6KEN. This is KP4MD.
KP4MD in the group, N6KN. Yeah, I just emailed you the photo that I got. That was what I call perfect slow scan. Like everyone else mentioned, that's the best scan that I've captured since doing this. Not one speck of interference on that. So very good.
Okay, very good. This is KP4MD. Well, I'll explain the connection of the two pictures. Yes, the picture up on the top there is a piece of amber, and there's a fleece. That's a piece of wool fleece, and that is to demonstrate the um, uh, the ancient Greeks that knew of electricity in that form, static electricity. Actually, it was the Greek philosopher uh, Thales of Miletus that wrote about this phenomenon that they were aware of. They didn't know what electricity was, but they saw that the rosin would attract feathers after it was rubbed on the fleece. And the same Greek philosopher knew of this mineral that's in the lower right-hand corner, which is a lodestone. They couldn't understand the principle behind it, but they described uh, the phenomenon of iron being attracted to these rocks. So I figured Tom would probably know a lot about this since his ex-wife Sylvia is a geologist and knows all about different kinds of minerals and uh, I guess a rock hound sort of. So it's electricity and magnetism. So that's the connection with electromagnetism. These are some pictures that I pulled up for a talk that I gave to a high school class about the origins of electromagnetic waves and that the principles of electricity and magnetism were known to the ancients. Any other comments on this before we continue? KP for MD. Okay, nothing. So we'll go on to number 6, and that's Ken, N6KEN. We're ready to copy your picture if you have one for us, and please tell us what mode you're using. Over.
This is N6KEN, and I'll be sending one picture in Martin 1.
Wow, that this is KP4MD. That was perfect timing. The CWID came at the after your picture was sent, and I have a perfectly flawless picture with no pixels out of place at all. And I see a gentleman with a mask on and sitting in the car, and it looks like somebody in camouflage fatigues, ready to give you an injection. And I'm guessing, this is probably the COVID shot. I could really identify with that because I happened to get my COVID shot this morning as well. So I'm going to guess. I'm going to take a guess and say this was your picture. This seems to be something they're doing. When they give you your shot, somebody volunteers to take your picture and share it with you. So that's awesome. Let's turn it up to Neil. KL7HQR. How did you copy that? It's KP4MD.
L7HQR, exactly as you described. The only little bit of interference that appeared to be is only on the letters of the call letters, because the rest of the picture is as flawless as the one that we received from you. Yeah, it is. I don't know if this is Ken. I am not familiar with him in person, but this is something that I'm looking forward to, and one of these days. But exactly as you said, the gentleman sitting inside the car with a blue face mask, and either just having received or after receiving an inoculation. Back to that.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Over to Joel. How did you copy AI6DG? Over.
What did they do? Turn off pay pause? Yeah, very good reception. My usual moray pattern, I need to track that down. And someone getting jabbed, or about to. I wonder if this is in town. Not that I've been paying attention, but I haven't heard that they're giving injections anywhere in town.
Okay, well, we shall see when Ken explains this. Over to you, Paul. How did you copy this N6DRY? Over.
Yes, I copied and I saw the same thing. A gentleman sitting in the car. Looks like a military person about to inject him. So again, I'm assuming that that's at a injection site. If it's here in town, it's probably a flu shot. But if it's out of town, it could be. I know some cities I've heard on the news have started doing the COVID shots in the drive-through fashion. So I got a little better picture this time. The noise I did get, I'm sure, is on my end. Back to net, N6DRY.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. Tom, W6BS, let's hear what you copied. Over.
All right, hopefully this is working. Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra. I took off my computer mic and I'm using the regular mic and turned Bluetooth off. Hopefully I'm making audio. I see sitting in a car with his arm out, rolled up sleeve, mask on, seatbelt's off, it appears, and there's a left arm in fatigues, probably working on you, probably giving you a shot. I can see a blue glove as well. Good image. I got right about halfway in the middle, so it skewed top and bottom, so I kind of shifted to try and get the top and bottom to fit. But if I could splice them there, I could put them together, and it would have been a perfect image.
Okay, yeah, I got the entire picture in one piece. I think what Neil said with the call letters is there's a little bit of pixelation uh, along the sharp edges, and that's, I believe, normal part of the that just has to do with the resolution. Because if you look closely at the syringe, you'll also see some pixelation on the edges there as well. Okay, Ken, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you explain what this picture is, please. Ken 6KEN, this is KP4MD.
group, N6KN. So this was taken on my iPhone this afternoon, and I think it was, the original image was like 8 megapixels or something like that, and I had to severely reduce it for the application to accept it to use it. But yeah, this is me in my car. I'm a licensed EMT and volunteer with the Sacramento Medical Reserve Corps, and I was scheduled to start being an observer at the Cal Expo operation next week. So they gave us the invite yesterday to get the vaccine, and so I quickly signed up and got it today. And it's mainly being run by the California National Guard, and it was an extremely smooth operation. You pull, they basically direct you through the cones on where to go, and then you tell you what stall to go into. You stay in your car, you turn your car off, and obviously you can take your seatbelt off, and then they get your info and then ask you if you have any medical history, and then they move you along on your way. For me, I had some past history, so they observed me for 30 minutes instead of 15, but it was a great experience, and I haven't had any side effects, so I encourage everyone to get one when they have the opportunity.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that, Ken. Yeah, I had my second vaccination this morning, and I was warned that apparently there's more reports of some flu-like symptoms that can occur the day after the second vaccination. So I'll just have to see what happens, what I experience. But after the first shot, I really had no reaction whatsoever. So I'm glad that you got that. That's very important, and they're certainly planning to accelerate the rollout of that vaccination so that people that really need it, right? Well, everybody needs it, but the frontline workers and the people that are a higher risk, I guess everyone over 65 and those with uh, existing conditions that put them at higher risk are going to move up on their priorities. So, anybody else have any comments here? We did a one complete round and we're coming up to the top of the hour. We'll be closing the net soon. I'll just take a standby if anybody has any more comments. This is KP for MD.
KL7HQR.
AS6TG here.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I've got KL7HQR AI6DG doubled with someone else. So let's go first with Neil. Go ahead, Neil.
Fantastic evening of pictures. I want to thank Ken for sharing that, and I was looking forward and anxious to get mine, and that put my mind at ease. A technical question. When we received the picture of the fly eye, I was looking on YouTube, and you had exactly the same split and slant that I did, and then I noticed that it was gone. Can you tell me what you did to fix that?
Okay, yeah, there was one picture that was split, and it actually, I was using the RX tab, and it disappeared from the RX tab, I guess because some noise, uh, the program was triggered on some noise and just wiped to clean the pictures. So I clicked on the history tab, and I brought the picture back up on history. When I did that, it showed the picture complete without the split. So I don't know if that explains it. Back to you, Neil. Over.
Well, like we used to say in the Air Force, it explains, but it doesn't justify. I just, because in the sense that you explained it well, I went back and I did exactly the same thing you did. I went to history and I see the picture, but it didn't. It's not fixed. So, anyway, something to learn a little bit about. Back to Matt. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I'm just giving you a description of what I observed, like you say, and I don't have an exact explanation of why that happened. I might have to do something with the settings of the auto sync and the auto slant. Joel, AI6DG, your comment, please. Over.
I'm sure I'm not alone in being interested in terms of vaccinations and the facts. My main concern or hesitancy is the issue of side effects. I have a significant history with allergies and bronchitis and pneumonia and various bronchial problems. So I'm wondering if you have any info on how that would reflect vaccination.
Okay, this is KP4MD. Well, I'm just going to repeat what the CDC has recommended. They don't really recommend it for people who suffer severe allergies. So if you like anaphylactic shock and things of that nature. So uh, they will give you a form to go over before you get the vaccination, which explains the risks and the side effects and the fact that it's still considered an experimental vaccination, although it's been through studies. That it's been an accelerated approval for emergency use. So that's about what I can say. Does that answer your question? Oh,
No, but you've done the best you can, and you've given an answer that I should go do it and look at the forums and talk with them. Thanks for that. AI6TG.
Comment?
Go ahead, comment, please.
Yeah, Joel. So I had to sit through a webinar because I'll be observing people next week, and I can send you the link to that, but it's an hour-long thing that talks about the allergic reactions and basic reactions to the virus, or the vaccine. And I have a history of anaphylaxis to morphine, penicillin, and bee stings. So unless you have allergic reaction to past vaccines or the ingredients in the vaccine, you can still take it, obviously, at your own risk, but I asked the group there, and really they haven't seen anything so far other than people with anxiety over it. So I wouldn't be too concerned, but obviously you can consult your doctors for better advice. On a side note, they did ask me if I had my epinephrine pens with me, and I did bring them just in case.
Okay, thank you very much, Ken, on that. Was there another station that had another comment or a question? Over.
Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra.
Okay, please go ahead, Tom.
I was just curious. This seems like a drive-by shot, so I was wondering if Cal Expo is going to have people drive there. I understood that people cannot just go. You have to have an appointment, and I'm not going to be in this band. I'm not 65 and older yet, so I'll be waiting a little farther down the line. I did see from the news reports that there are 4 hospitals that are doing it. We use Kaiser, and Kaiser is saying that they're still doing just emergency workers, even though that there's new guidelines from the state. So there's no information for at least Kaiser. I know that Sutter had something, and UC Med had something, and there was one other that I can't remember. But I'm just curious if Cal Expo is going to be a drive-by, drive in from your car and never get out.
Correct. It's they have roll-up doors, and you drive into them and then out of them, and then they put a timer on your windshield, and then they put a placard on your windshield whether or not you're a 15-minute observation or a 30-minute observation.
All right, so that's where you can keep separation, is that the car certainly will keep people farther away, I guess.
Correct, and it's an appointment system. So if you are a healthcare worker right now, your employer will provide the appointment link, and then or if you're in the other groups, it's weird because I think Sutter is on phase 1B, or yeah, 1B. Kaiser is on phase 1A. UC Davis is on another one, and I know Sac County Public Health is on one up to 1C right now.
Okay, there's a comment here. Mike on YouTube says there was an article in the New York Times about a doctor with a shellfish allergy who had a severe reaction to the Moderna vaccine. Took his EpiPen to the vaccination and recovered fairly quickly after getting the shot. Thank you very much for sharing that. And I know one other hospital, the VA hospital in Mather, has reported that they have a supply, and I'm sure they're using that for their medical staff. And they're supposed to be going out. I don't know if there are any veterans facilities here for. I don't think there's any residential veterans facilities in this area. Maybe there are, but they were going to be targeting them also as a priority. Any other comments?
KL7HQ, I would also appreciate getting the link to that webinar that was mentioned. I appreciate that.
Okay, Ken, did you copy that? Could you possibly, if you know what, if you could find the link to the webinar, could you, and if it's online, could you possibly share that perhaps by email?
I can either do that, I can send it to you, and then you can send it out to everyone if you know their email addresses, or I can pop it into this YouTube chat.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll put it on. Yeah, you can send it to me, and I'll go ahead also. I'll put it on in the comment section of this YouTube video. Thank you very much. We're going to be wrapping up here because it's already past the hour. Final call. Any comments before we close the net? Okay, no more. This wraps up the River City Arc Slow Scan TV Net. I want to give a thanks to everyone who participated in the Slow Scan TV Net tonight. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The net is now closed at 10:07 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is Carol, Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta, wishing you all a very good evening and 73.